Puzzle scenarios are sponsored by the ProPokemon Premium Membership Service. Get exclusive access to past and future in-depth articles written by some of the most successful and experienced players in the game each fortnight for just $6 a month. With state championships a few weeks away and regional championships following soon after, now is a great time to subscribe. Hey guys, I'm Nathan for ProPokemon, and today I've got the answer video for the second puzzle scenario. So if you didn't watch it or just need reminding about what was going on, I'll include a link to it in the description below. Right, to win this scenario, there's quite a few cards you need to pull off the combination, and even though it works, you're probably never going to get the actual time to pull this off in a game, but it's pretty cool to know about either way. So, first of all, the first card we need is a Mew Prime here. And as you can see, we've got Fire Energy and 2 Prism Energy on it. And in your Lost Zone, there are 3 cards, which are Swanna, Landorus, and Lunatone. Swanna is needed for this combination, and so are these, but you don't need to use both of them, just one of them will do, but both work with the puzzles, so I thought I'd mention both. Now, Swanna's attack has caused a lot of debate between judges for the last few weeks before an official ruling was made. Now, the reason for this is its first attack called Feather Dance. Feather Dance reads, during your next turn, each of this Pokemon's attacks do 40 more damage. Okay, so it doesn't specify whether that's just to the active Pokemon or whether it works for bench Pokemon as well. Now, Swanna itself doesn't have an attack which damages bench Pokemon, but people needed to know because if they use Mew Prime to first put it into the Lost Zone then copy its attack, then the Mew Prime could use a card which spread damage the following turn. So it was ruled originally that extra 40 damage would only work on the opponent's active Pokemon, but a ruling in Japan said that it should work on bench Pokemon as well, and because of this our ruling on it's changed. So that means that if you, for example, use Feather Dance with a Mew Prime, then you copy, let's say, Kyurem's attack the next turn, that attack would do 70 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon, which is pretty amazing. So the 2 cards which this works for are Landorus and Lunatone, and for the sake of this puzzle I'll just concentrate on Landorus, but both of their attacks are pretty similar. So Landorus' second attack is called Gaia Hammer, and it does 80 damage and it does 10 damage to each bench Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's. So if you remember, Swanna adds 40 damage, which means that Gaia Hammer would do 120 damage to the active and 50 damage to each of their bench Pokemon. So by copying Feather Dance the first turn with Mew Prime, then Gaia Hammer the second turn with Mew Prime, since we've got the right energy for it, that would be enough to knock out each of their bench Pokemon, which includes just Magnemites, Tynamos and a Cleffa, all of which have quite a minimal HP. Now the trouble with this is that their Magnezone Prime will still have 20 damage remaining, because it has 140 HP and doesn't have any damage on it. And although something like Plus Power might work in this scenario, or Kingdra Prime, you'll remember that the puzzle specified that you can't use any Stage 2 Pokemon, and that both the Vileplumes block you from playing any trainers. Okay, there's a supporter card in the format which is pretty popular in some decks that does add damage, and you can use it in this situation, and that supporter is Black Belt. First put these here for now, so you imagine they're in the Lost Zone. Now Black Belt specifies that if you're behind on prizes, your attacks do 40 damage more to the opponent's active Pokemon. Now the trouble is that you have 6 prizes remaining and the Magnezone player had 6 prizes remaining as well. So in order for Black Belt to work, you have to give up a prize to your opponent on this turn, and it has to be some situation where they're forced to take a prize rather than they have the option. Now there's 2 possible ways you can do this. One would be to have a basic Pokemon with 10 HP left. You could then attach a Rainbow Energy to knock it out, make them take a prize, and then your Black Belt would work. The other option, which I thought of originally and most people wrote in their answers, was Electrode Prime. So in this scenario, you can use Electrode Prime's Energy Mite, which means that it goes to the discard pile. It doesn't matter what you get from with the 7 cards from your deck, and that would force the opponent to take a prize, which means that they're winning. So you could then use Swan as Feather Dancer previous turn, then on your following turn, use Energy Mite to go behind in prizes, play the Black Belt, then use Landorus's Gaia Hammer Crush to do 160 damage to their active Pokemon and 50 damage to each of their bench Pokemon, which not only knocks out all 6 Pokemon and lets you take 6 prizes, it also means that they have no Pokemon left on their field, so you win by fulfilling 2 win conditions. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the answer. It's pretty complicated, and I think it's something where if you didn't know about the Swanner rule, then there's probably no way you would have worked it out. I didn't actually know about it myself, it was just my brother suggested it as a puzzle idea, and I think it made a pretty good one. But, I mean, otherwise I could have probably spent days in this puzzle and not worked it out. Originally when I started the puzzles, I just wanted to mention that I plan to do them on a weekly basis, but I don't want to put puzzles out there for the sake of it, and it is quite hard to come up with good ideas on a regular basis, so sometimes I might be a few days late, sometimes who knows, if I come up with a few good ideas, there might be a couple in 1 week, we'll have to see. The other thing I wanted to mention was that the difficulty of the puzzles probably naturally change week on week, because it's going to be hard for me to come up with concepts like this all the time. I think that's good actually, because I don't want to exclude any types of player from this puzzle, and as well as people who are very experienced and enjoy a puzzle which is quite hard, I also know that there are players out there who might have just started playing the game or play it really casually and don't have a good idea about all these different cards in the format which aren't really even used that much, like you saw with the Swanner. I also like puzzles like this in the Smoogle one because they can introduce concepts to people which they're not aware of, and I think that's kind of cool. I'm not saying like you guys are going to pull off that in a tournament easily, and it's the same with the Smeagol trick with when they have a Seeker in the hand. But I don't know, I think it's kind of fun to know about, and if you really wanted to, you could try and build a deck for League revolving around them and see how it goes. I think this will probably end up as one of my harder puzzles, and even though this video's got the same views as last week's, it's got 20 correct answers as opposed to 50. So I think a lot of people weren't able to work it out, which is kind of cool because I think this has been a puzzle which has been really testing for a lot of players. So I've got the 20 correct answers here, and if you remember in the puzzle scenario original video, I mentioned that the one correct answer will be picked at random, and then that person gets a 3 months membership to the ProPokemon Premium Membership Service, which is just, I thought, something as a prize which would be good to give out. So I've got all the correct names here, and I'm going to choose one at random live in the video, read it out, and then whoever the correct answer is, then I'll just contact you after the show and set you up with an account on the website. Right, so here we go. So the winner is Andrew Colbert. So congrats, man. So I'll contact you hopefully tonight or tomorrow and sort you out with an account. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and I should hopefully have a new puzzle scenario out for you in the next few days. I've got quite a bit going on, so I'm thinking maybe Wednesday or Thursday it'll be up. So hit subscribe, and then whenever I do get it up, you should get a notification, and you should have a few days to get in your answers before I do the next answer video. Okay, thanks, bye.